calling out our duty masters. In Toastmasters, we have certain metrics, and our duty masters do that. They measure certain aspects of the meeting. And so we start off with our counter. Let's see now.
We have
So
any
we start-
volunteers for our counter?
Pardon? Sorry.
Oh no, everybody else I think had signed up, but just volunteers for these other roles here.
Oh yeah, okay. I could have sworn I had a counter, but okay. Let's see now.
I can be
I'm odd counter today.
Oh yeah, okay. I think I missed that. Okay. Okay, thank you, Georgie. Yes, I was putting that in. So yeah, thank you, Georgie. Explain to everyone your role as a counter, please.
During the meeting, I'll be listening to people's speeches and counting any filler words like you know, so. I'll present a report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. And our next duty master will be our timer. Wai Ming is our timer.
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, my function today is to provide the time. And you see in one of the squares, if I can, let me flip it. You see in one of the squares that it shows the time. And for speeches are 5 to 7 minutes, unless you tell me otherwise. At 5 minutes, the green light will come on. At 6 minutes, the yellow. And then at 7, the red light will come on. And you have 30 seconds to finish. Evaluation are 2 to 3 minutes, and then table topics 1 to 2 minutes, and I'll report the time at the end of the meeting, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Yeah, I have to watch my time, and those are a few things I always do. I always overdo on time. Our next duty master is our word master, which is Gautam.
Jose, I have a hard stop at 8, so I don't think I'll be covering this for this meeting. Can someone take that? Maybe a grammarian take the role. I have a word for today. I can share it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay. So the word for today is concise. Okay, who is going to take this?
I can take it.
Awesome. So the word for today is concise, and the meaning is giving a lot of information clearly in a few words. Another way, brief but comprehensive. So Harun, could you please explain the role of word master?
Okay, sure. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. As word master, my duty is to record the usage of the word concise. And at the end of the meeting, I will be reporting it. If you are called upon the speaker or you have a prepared speech, please use the word and use the word of the day. And I will report it at the end on who do not use that word. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Harun. Harun is also our grammarian. Yes.
Well, thank you again, Mr. Toastmaster. My role as the grammarian for this meeting is to track the usage of the English language. I will be looking at your use of grammar, your tense, whether you're using the past tense or you're using any kind of future tense or past participle or any kind of interesting usage of the English language that you may come up in your speeches. So, and I'll be reporting at the end of what I heard.
Thank you. One of the challenges of doing our speeches in Toastmasters is being concise, right? Coming up with a very, very broad topic and making it concise and coming up with, but also being effective in expressing ourselves and actually giving that message. So next duty master is our ballot counter, which is Hannah.
Good morning, Toastmasters and most welcome guests. I will be counting ballots towards the end of the meeting. You'll be voting for the best table topics master, best evaluator, and best speaker. There will be a Google voting link, and you'll fill that out, or you can private chat your votes as well towards the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And also, we record this meeting, and it will be by Harun. Harun is going to be our video master.
Well, thank you again, Mr. Toastmaster. As video master, my job is to record the meetings, which I don't really do anything. I let Zoom do its job. But at the end of the meeting, I will be uploading the minutes of the meeting to a private YouTube channel. If you do not wish to be recorded, please let me know so that I can turn the recording off and we can skip your part when you're speaking. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Okay, so now we move on. This will be our prepared speeches. We have two speakers today, and the first speaker is Anesh. Anesh is going to talk about the part two of his adventure of this lonely animal called Kavana. So the title of the speech is Kavana, the world's loneliest elephant, part 2. So it's a very, very interesting story. Let's raise our hands for Anesh.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. My name is Anesh. Today, I'm going to talk about the story of the Kavan, which is known as the world's loneliest elephant. This is the part 2 of my speech. Let me quickly give the quick recap of let me give a quick recap of what the story about Kavan, like the part 1. So the Kavan was born in Sri Lanka, and later Sri Lanka government gifted Kavan to President of Pakistan, and then Kavan moved to one of the zoos in Pakistan, city of Pakistan city is Islamabad. Kavan spent all 35 years of his time in Pakistan Zoo by entertaining by entertaining the crowd, and also Kavan went through a lot of hard time. Basically, the zoo handlers who doesn't have the good experience of handling wildlife and all, they tortured the Kavan by poking with the bull horns. And Kavan was not alone throughout entire his life. Kavan had a companion, Saheli, and Saheli died in 2012. Since after Saheli died, Kavan started facing some emotional, psychological issues. Also, Kavan become very angry, and her diet was his diet was not properly maintained, and also Kavan become overweight. That's a quick concise of Kavan's story till 2016. So there is a pop star. She's an American singer. Her name is Cher, and Cher came to know about Kavan's story in 2016, and immediately she founded an organization, Free the Wild. So it's a wildlife protection charity, so that she can operate any of activities through this charity. So she hired a legal team to press the elephant's freedom, especially Kavan's freedom. So So Pakistan local court ordered to free Kavan in May 2020. S- freeing Kavan is not ended with a court order. Basically, uh, right after court order, chair's team had to reach department or one department to other and to get the proper approvals and all. Eventually, chair's team went to um, Pakistan's High Court, and in the Pakistan High Court ordered to close this Pakistan's Islamabad zoo and free the Kavan. This order came in June 2020. Um, so, though court ordered to close the zoo and move the Kavan out from this zoo enclosure, um, the, the there are no other zoos are available in Pakistan who can take care of the Kavan well, because none of these zoos, Pakistan zoos, are member of old Association of Zoos and Aquarium. So in Pakistan zoos, they don't follow any kind of a uniform standards um, um, to handle the wildlife at all. So apart from this, there was still an issue with the Kavan. It's an angry elephant and close to half a ton weight, and it's a Kavan was suffering with overweight and all. And Chair's team approached another international wildlife welfare organization, 4PASS International, and the head of this organization is Dr. Amil Kahil. And then with with the request of Chairs, and the Dr. Amil Kahil and his team came to Pakistan and started assessing the Kavan's behavior and all. And there are team of 10 plus members, and every day their job was stand close by two Kavans at a secured cage and observe Kavan continuously, hours and off hours. Amir always feels that it was a very boring job, but the cause is very greater. And suddenly one day Amir started singing a song, and he observed that Kavan showed some interest in his voice. So he kept on singing continuously, and eventually Kavan let the Amir and his team to come close to him. So he became Kavan started became a little bit normal from angry behavior, and Kavan started eating food from Amir's hand, and started hugging using his trunk, and also Amir started bathing in Kavan in a pond. Eventually, Kavan followed the Amir's command, and Kavan was ready to follow the Amir's commands. Whatever that Amir was asking to do, Kavan started doing all. So this becomes easy to transport the Kavan from Pakistan to some other part of the world. So now they even now Kavan traveled from Pakistan to Cambodia. So in Cambodia there is a one big wildlife sanctuary is there, and it's kind of a big sanctuary where there is a volunteers and the staff members are there to protect the wildlife and all the endangered species. So Kavan still have some problems to adjust to the natural environment, but it finally has a chance to live like an elephant, and also it's finally it can call it a home. And uh, the happy ending of this story is Kavan is no longer a world's loneliest elephant anymore. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Anesh. That was a heartfelt story on this life of an elephant. We are caretakers of God's creation. So that's a very interesting, very, very insightful story. So we move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker will be
Can
Wai
we
Ming.
take maybe a minute?
Oh, yes. Sorry. I always forget this. Yes. Do take a minute or so to send a private chat to Anesh to give him feedback on on his speech. Also in the private chat, we also have the word of the day. You'll notice there. Okay, so we move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker will be Wai Ming, and he gives a lot of interesting insights on technology. He had a lot of good speeches on on management also, and a lot of insights onto the history of language and mathematics. And today, his speech will be on project proposals. So let's raise our hand for Wai Ming.
Thank you, Jose. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. Today, I'm going to be talking about project. I'm going back to Pathway. So I've been giving speeches almost every other week this year, but I've been avoiding this whole Pathway thing. And finally, I'm going to try to finish, or at least start the process of finishing this last project in level 5 for my Pathway. And so I'll explain briefly what the project is about, and then I need to solicit your help and maybe hopefully benefit you in this project. And so that's what the project is about. So Pathway level 5 has 3 elements. It has developing a project plan, which I'll talk about, and then it also talks about organizing a guidance committee, which would guide me in doing the project, and then implementing the plan. So those are the 3 elements in this project. It's fairly concise. And so what I'm going to talk about is what the project plan proposal is. And I'd like you to help me with it. The project plan consists of 2 workshops to prepare speeches. And I would suggest that there would be 2 meetings. Each one of them lasts about 30 minutes. So it's actually not a very long workshop. It's a fairly short workshop. And I would suggest that the 2 topics, although I'm open to other types of topics as well. One topic on one of the meetings would be the finding topic to speak. What do you want to talk about? And then the second topic is about organizing the speech so that you can deliver it in 5 to 7 minutes. In the format of the workshop would be a very short presentation by myself and then some brainstorming and discussion and summary. And the ideal thing is to get the participants in the workshop to actually prepare a speech and come back here and to give the speech. So, and of course, the participants would be members of this club. I would like to ask for some help in participating in these 2 short workshops. And then there's the second part of this project is the guidance committees. And the requirement in the project is to have 5 meetings. And I'll talk about the 5 meetings would consist of 3 presentations I'm doing here at this club, and have a schedule that I'll show you along with the 2 workshops. So a total of, and essentially anyone who participates in the workshop would be part of the guidance committee. Therefore, they're part of the workshop is part of the guidance committee meeting. So there are now a total of 5 guidance committee. Of course, members of this club who participate would also be in the guidance committee. So 2 things, the workshop and the guidance committees, and that would be what the project plan is about. And so the schedule would look something like this. It's fairly ambitious, and frankly, the dates can adjust. But today is the first day, and I'm giving a presentation on what this project is about. So that is the first meeting. And all the folks here who are part of Startup Speaker, who are members, part of speakers, are part of the guidance committee by default. So I would ask for your help to provide any feedback to me, whether it's via email or via the chat, or however you want to communicate, give me any feedback on how I'm conducting this particular project. And then I would take that along with the next 4 other meetings. And the other 4 meetings would be, there would be 2 other presentations by myself at this club. I'm suggesting next Wednesday is one of the meetings, and then the Wednesday after is the 3rd presentation. Now, of course, only if we were to meet next Wednesday and the Wednesday after. I'm assuming that we would, and there would be a speaking slot available. If some other people are going to speak, then I have to move my time out. So I'm flexible in terms of time, but this is how I would go about doing that. And then in between those presentations at the club, I would ask for a 30-minute workshop meeting. And I would suggest maybe sometime today, but frankly, again, this is a flexible thing. It doesn't work out, and it could be actually just 5 Toastmasters meetings if necessary. And I could just stretch it out into January, February, March, whenever is available. So that's the idea, 5 meetings, part of the 5 guidance committee meeting, and then 2 workshops in between in there. And then there would be my progress presentation. Today is the first project proposal meeting. And then I have a progress meeting supposedly next Wednesday. And then the final meeting or presentation on the 30th. So that would be the schedule. So my request for you is, who would like to participate in these 2 workshops? And you can send me a private chat or email. And then I would like to organize it. Ideally, the workshop would be between now and next Wednesday. And ideally, maybe today or some other time that's appropriate that everyone would fit in. And then the second workshop accordingly. So those are the 2 workshops. And then so that's the idea. And so I'm asking to see whether any of you would want to participate in the workshops. And of course, by being present here, you're part of the guidance committee. And the benefits for you is that you'll get more ideas on how to prepare speeches, and then how do you actually do a pathway project. So that's the idea. Now, I've been doing a regular cadence of doing speeches. Last year, I was doing every month. I would do a speech at the beginning of the month. This year, I accelerated that to every other week, and sometimes every week. And my whole point with giving speeches is a sort of like a muscle. It's like exercise. You have to do it often, and you have to do it frequently. And then the speaking capability, the way you come up with ideas, the way you present, all is part of that practice, and makes it much easier if you practice very often. So I would encourage you to do that, regardless of whether you participate in a workshop, but certainly help me with the workshop. Mr. Toastmasters.
Thank you, YB. That's a very interesting project. You can count me in. Anytime you want, just text or email me, that's fine. This is exciting because it gives you a project, right, for everybody to work on. So yes, respond to Wai Ming privately in chat, in regards to his speech and also in regards to his proposal. We'll give ourselves a minute or so to do that. Okay, the next phase of our meeting will be the evaluations. And to coordinate that, we have Haroon as our general evaluator. Let's raise our hands for Haroon.
Hi, thank you very much, Wemming. We'll now be evaluating, before we get on the stage, I'd like to introduce the evaluators. Hold on a second, I just need to get the list of evaluators. I've opened the I accidentally closed my Toastmasters.
Should be, I think Gautam's evaluator for speaker 1 and I'm evaluator for speaker number 2.
Thank you, Hannah. So thank you, Hannah. I was just looking for my Toastmaster. But to cut things short, I'd like to introduce now Gautam, who's evaluating Anesh. Gautam has done a lot of speeches for us and is a great evaluator. He gives very concise evaluations to get to the crux of what the speaker needs to, what the good points of the speech are and what the speaker needs to improve on. So Gautam, welcome.
Thank you, Anis, for the topic. Kavan, no longer the loneliest animal in the world now. It was really an inspiring speech, and I see how people are pulled into more emotional with the animals and how they are fighting to release from their struggle. I really like the topic, like I mentioned in the previous part 1 of your speech. I just referred your feedback on previous speech, and now I see a really good improvement on, especially on using R's. However, there are some few R's, and that could be avoided by pauses. And you used visual supplements, which is very good. Over the last time, we had very few points, like more points in the slides. And some things that I would like to work on it, especially like your eye contact while giving a speech. Especially we are doing it in online. So we have to gather the attention of the audiences, obviously, so everyone will can, like, we are not sure whether they are listening or they are hearing our ideas or not. So we have to give a eye contact and also the hand gestures. I think that would be really great if we could improve that. And I saw the clarity was good. However, the vocal clarity needs to be improved, such as stress certain words. You can change the tone and volumes. You can bring your emotions to your story to connect to the people and the audiences. And like I mentioned, you started with a very good recap that gives a concise story about your part 1 of your speech that sets the ground for your part 2 speech. It was really good. I would really encourage to do that, especially when we have a new audiences. And I would like to challenge a couple of things. your eye contact and reducing R's with the pauses. I guess when we use R's and pauses, like there's a trade-off because of the comfort level. You can feel very comfortable and you can take pauses. That's fine. Sometimes it may feel like we are looking for words. That's fine. When we get used to that, you will know, okay, you can completely avoid those R's. So other than that, it was a very good speech. Like I mentioned, I'm more excited. Someone will be taking this as a movie. I'm waiting for that. And thank you for the speech.
Thank you very much, Gautam. Our next evaluator is Hannah, our president. Hannah has been our esteemed leader for some time now, and she has been a great president. She's also a great evaluator and a prolific speaker. So please welcome Hannah.
Thank you, Haroon, and thank you, Wai Ming, who was the second speaker of this morning. Wai Ming, you spoke about a Pathways project, and thank you for submitting your evaluation form. I do have a few on file for Pathways, but I will try to follow the format as closely as possible this morning. But Wai Ming, you talked about your Pathways project in terms of what you plan to implement in the club, which is developing, organizing, helping people put together speeches, whether it's through our meetings, the committee, or the workshops that you have planned. One word that really comes to mind is relentless. I feel like you're relentless in your pursuit, because over here people are planning for the holidays and winding down for their year, but here you're trying to push a project where you're trying to better improve everybody in the club towards the end of the year, versus people are thinking about the next year, maybe tuning out of Toastmasters, maybe not thinking about developing their public speaking capabilities, but here you're relentless in your pursuit. So it's one word that really comes to mind. Overall in the body, you did talk about the workshops, the meetings, you talked about the preparation, finding topics, you talked about the dates, the times. So overall you did cover the who, what, where, and when. The one thing I think you could have really drove home is the why. So I think of the acronym WIFM, which is what's in it for me. So W-I, what's in it for WIFM, right? What's in it for me? That's like the why of this project proposal. And it is very hard to evaluate this because you are just giving a project proposal for our Toastmasters Club. So it's a really difficult evaluation to do, but that WIFM, that why, also just keeping it very general. I know we have a couple guests on, so sometimes they may be like, what's Pathways? What's this project about? Really just creating that context in the beginning, like, hey, if you're new, this is what this is, and then going into what it is later on. So kind of just framing your speech in the beginning. But overall, I would say you're relentless. You're giving an end of the year project proposal, which is awesome to better improve the club. And you're talking about the benefits as well. So you did talk about that in the end. So just spending a little bit more time on the benefits. In terms of your speech content, it was a little bit hearty and meaty, but it's okay. Like people that were familiar with Pathways, it's more digestible versus somebody that may be new to the topic. But overall, I would say just spend a little more time on the benefits, selling the dream towards the end of the speech of, hey, this is why you need to get on board. It's the end of the year. You need to push on your goals. I've signed up to speech almost every other week or every week, and then this is what I got out of it. So just adding that personal anecdote of like, this is how much I've grown as a speaker. This is why you need to commit to this. This is why you need to get involved in this committee, or this is why you need to join this meeting and workshop. So definitely pushing selling the dream, what's in it for me towards the end, and the benefits overall. But thank you so much, Wai Ming, and thank you for being committed to our club and improvement of all our club members.
Thank you. Thank you, Hannah, for that great evaluation. Our next section of the speech is that I return it to our Toastmaster, Jose.
Thank you, Haroon, our general evaluator. Now we proceed to the next segment of our meeting this morning. It will be on giving out 1 to 2 minute impromptu speeches, and to coordinate that, we have our table topics master. Table topics master is Georgie. Let's raise our hands for Georgie.
Good morning, everyone. Today, our topic for the meeting was gift giving. So I'm going to ask people quick questions about gift giving. You should keep your answer concise. Imagine that you are working on your startup and you are in an elevator with your potential funding person, they ask you an off-the-wall question. Now you have to try to sound intelligent. So this is how we practice giving a nice, intelligent answer to a weird off-the-wall question. The first question today, with respect to gift giving, is what kind of gifts do you like to give and why? Does anyone want to volunteer to take this question?
I'll take Georgie.
Go ahead, Gavin.
I'm in a lift with my investor. I have 2 minutes of time. So I need to give a gift to him so that he can remember me. He can remember me of my company. So I'll give something very concise in few words with some memento kind of stuff. Probably he can keep in his desk or in his pocket or in his car. It should be in his eyesight so that he can keep thinking of me whenever he looks at that gift. He can think of my company. He can think of that moment. He can think of what I remember. So my words should be very concise in terms of selling my company. What I'm doing, for what, and what is the solution. Less than few words, should be very, very concise, like my gift. And gift should be tiny. It's not like a huge gift, so that he can carry wherever he wants. So that's my succinct, short pitch for my investor when I have 2 minutes of time. Thank you, Georgie.
Thank you, Gautam. All right, our next question is, what was the last gift you received and what did you think about it? Does anyone want to take this question? Okay, then I will call on someone. How's about Harun? What was the last gift you received and what did you think about it? Don't worry, you don't have to be honest. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. The last gift I received was a watch that my wife gave me. It was last summer. It was just a random gift, and I find that was actually a very meaningful gift for me. Now, I'm not the kind of person. I have a personal aversion to gift giving on particular dates. I especially like birthdays and Christmases and any other holidays that you can come up with. And the reason is because I've always felt that these dates are somewhat arbitrary. I mean, had we had some other cosmic event, we would have actually had different calendar dates. So it doesn't really make sense to me that we just assign a date for personal gift giving. I prefer to have giving gifts and receiving them on other days. And that's why it felt like a very meaningful gift for me. I really appreciate the fact that my wife actually just picked a random date to give it to me because she knows about my personal views on gifts on particular dates. That doesn't, of course, apply to her. I do have to adhere to the general rules about gift giving on certain days, like anniversaries and birthdays. But the fact that she remembered my opinions about it was a meaningful one. Thank you. Madam Tabletop Master.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so our next question is, have you ever regifted something? Does anybody want to volunteer to answer this question? And once again, remember to try to use the word of the day concise in your answer. So the question is, have you ever regifted something? Any volunteers? Jose, you're smiling pretty big. I'm guessing there's a story there. So why don't you share it with the rest of us, please?
I have not regifted, so I just had that icky feeling when even the thought of regifting, and there's a few reasons why, because when I was young, people figure it out. It's really funny how when you regift something, it doesn't it doesn't pass. So it's kind of like a trick, right? But uh, but then again, in a lot of regifting, it's still lighthearted though. It's like you when I was and my experience in the matter was it was more like a practical joke, right? Kind of thing. Whenever there's it's a regift, and later on, we talk about it amongst ourselves with me and my brothers and sisters, and it's also and we let the other person know. So it's kind of like we caught you. So in a way, it is like a game, right? Regifting is more like a game, but it does come off as wait a minute, you're cheating. But then again, like I said, if you think of it as something lighthearted and you call him out on it and make a joke out of it, it comes out good. So it's still caring. So I would still quantify as something good. Okay, that's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. All right. So next question. If you don't like a gift you receive, how long should you keep it? Any volunteers for this one? Okay. And Nash, you look like you're very busy there. Why don't you try and answer this question? Maybe get some help there.
Yeah. Thank you, Georgie, for the question. You said if I don't
If you
like,
don't like a gift, how long should you keep it?
it's a very uncomfortable situation if we receive any gift that we don't like, but we have to first, whoever the gift giver, we have to convey emotionally, yeah, okay, I like your gift or something. That is a first biggest challenge to complete. But still you have to show your respect to the whoever is giving, because the person who is giving the gift might be giving with a very good and emotional and intentions, but if you like it or don't like it is up to us, right? So yeah, uh, that's the biggest thing. Once we complete that challenge of receiving unwanted gift and keeping it, how long? um, Either keep it store it inside in the storeroom so that it will stuck there forever. So when you move from your place you might see, and then you keep it in new storage room. Yeah, as of now I feel like if we receive anything unwanted gift, keep it, store it securely. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you very much for your answer. All right. Let's see. So our next question will be, let's see. Is there a special gift that you like to get? Do I have any volunteers for this one? Let's see. Would one of the guests like to take a question? Any volunteers?
Okay, is there a special gift that I would like to receive? I think it really depends on the utility and the situation of life that you are in at that point of time. And if I know that there is a festival coming up and I know and I'm expecting to receive a gift from a particular person, sometimes I'll just give them a hint about something that I need, and then hopefully they take the hint and then they give me that as a gift. That way I receive something that I can utilize, and they are spending their money on something that will be used for the correct they will get the value for their money. And I try in every possible way to give away that hint. Sometimes it might even come off as a very obvious hint, but then I think it's just better to let the person know that you want to buy something rather than getting something that you don't like, and then you are just kind of in this dilemma about what do you do with this thing because you don't like it. So yeah, I just let them know if there's some special gift that I'm expecting to receive at that point of time.
Okay, thank you very much for your answer. All right, our next question is, did you ever give or get a knick-knack as a gift? So like a little doodad, little thing that you just kind of have sitting around, maybe collecting dust. So did you ever give or get a knick-knack as a gift? Does anybody want to volunteer to answer this? Okay. So Wang Ming, how about you? Have you ever gotten or received a knick-knack as a gift?
Ms. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, most welcome guest. Definitely. I work for this company and they gave me one of these mugs. It's not this one, but something like that. It has the company's logo on it. So that's one of those knickknacks. And if you work for a company, that often happens. However, it's just a gift. At the same time, one thing that's very interesting this year, I read in the news, there's an actor named Tom Cruise. He's fairly famous. There's a bunch of movies coming out. And he gives out this cake every year. And it's not a cheap cake. It's $99. You have to order it from Beverly Hills. It's this coconut bun cake. And if you're on the list to get that cake, which I'm not, but if you're on that list, apparently this is a very good bun cake. Even if you are on a diet, you're gonna eat it and you're gonna gain 2 pounds, but apparently a very good bun cake. So if you have $99 you want to spare, you might want to order this bun cake from Dome's Bakery in Beverly Hills. Mr. Toastmaster or Miss Toastmaster.
Hey. All right. How about one more question, Mr. Toastmaster?
Yes, we have time for one more.
All right.
Real fast.
So let us ask our last question to Hannah. Hannah, why don't you tell us about a special gift that you received and you fondly remember?
Thank you, Miss Table Topics Master. I would say there'd be a plenty, but the most recent one I can remember is for Valentine's Day. Me and my husband had gotten a fight and we were not talking to each other. And so I thought he had forgotten about Valentine's Day. And so when he came home, I was there grumpy on the couch, just waiting to yell at him about stuff that we were fighting about earlier. And this man actually walked in with flowers and a purse that he went and bought at this luxury store. So it was a colorful leather purse. It was something that I probably would not have found, but I really enjoyed and I really liked because it was colorful and it was leather. So he did a really great job without me picking out anything. And then he brought me a purse and a handbag. So I would say that he was forgiven during that day. But I thought we were fighting about other stuff involving, I think, our household or our family or stuff like that. But I was surprised he got such a good gift. So I was very impressed by his gift giving skills. And he definitely made up for that fight. So he's like, "Oh, you're not going to yell at me anymore?" I was like, "No, hand over the gifts." It was the most memorable just because most recently that had happened. So I would say that was a gift that was made up the situation.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Hannah, and good job for your husband. Definitely got some good advice for what to do when Hannah's mad at you. All right, and that is everybody for our table topics question. I'll transfer it now back to our, is it general evaluator that it gets transferred back to? So I transfer back to Haroon, please, for our general evaluation of the meeting.
Thank you, Georgie. As general evaluator, we're going to go over our duty roles now. And our first duty role, who's going to be reporting on how we did, is Wai Ming. Wai Ming, how do we do in time?
Yes, Mr. General Evaluators, I'm going to read off the time. Anish, in his speech, spoke for 8 minutes. I spoke for 7:07. In the evaluations, Gautam spoke for 2 minutes and 46 seconds, Hannah 2:44. In the table topics, Gautam 1:13, Haroon 1:37, Jose 1:32, Anish 1:27. Our guest Kashmira 1:14, myself 1:14, Hannah 1:19. That's the retirement report.
Thank you. Thank you, Wai Ming. As grammarian, I will be I was monitoring the role of grammarian. I saw a couple of interesting uses of the word I really like the way Anesh used to recap his speech from last week. And it actually, what I really liked about it was that he actually brought in that context of what he was talking about last week, and it sort of reminded us that, yeah, this is a continuation of what we were doing from last week. The other was about that. In other words, I didn't actually find any other incorrect usage of the word. I did find a sweet and short, the way Gautam actually used his on his table topics. And one of the other things that I did really like was the way Wai Ming characterized his speeches as a practicing to speak as a muscle. The more you practice, the more the muscle develops. That was an interesting thing. And of course, Hannah's acronym for WIFM, what's in it for me? That's another thing I'm going to add to my dictionary. So that's my grammarian report. And I believe I'm also the word master. And so as word master, I tracked Georgie, who used the word, and then Jose, and Wai Ming. So thank you, everybody.
I used it once.
Oh yes, you did too.
So,
Yeah, thanks, Anish. And the next one is the odd counter. Will Georgie, can you give us the?
Georgie.
Yes. Okay, Haroon, you did pretty good with odds. It was a little over 10 today. Anesh, you were dealing with a lot of ums and repeats. You had about greater than 30. Let's see, Wai Ming, you were doing a lot of repeats and ums, and there were about 13 of them or so. Jose, your main issue today was repetition. You had about 6. Gautam is not here. And Hannah, you had once again some repeats and ums, and that was on the order of 10. And that's what I caught today.
Thank you, Georgie. Now, do we have a joke master today? I mean, do you have a joke?
Oh, what? Jose has his hand up.
I have a joke.
Jose,
joke.
go ahead. Go ahead, Joe.
Elementary teacher was teaching her students about the commercialization of farm animals. Kids, what does a chicken give you? One kid goes, meat. Very good. Now, what does a pig give you? Another student goes, bacon. Great. Now, what does a fat cow give you? A student raises his hand and says, homework. You get it? You get it? Okay. Okay.
Okay, as general evaluator, I'd like to evaluate the entire meeting. The meeting started out on time. I think we had a great lineup for prepared speeches. Congratulations to Anesh for kicking off his, I believe that's also a pathway project. I think it's level 2, which reminds me that I have to do to get back on the pathways myself. And of course, Wai Ming, who had a great speech on level 5, that he actually, the fact that he's actually gone through levels 1 through 4 means that I'm way behind on schedule on level 5. I really like the fact that everybody, that we had a full lineup for volunteers for the meeting. So thank you, Jose, for getting that organized. We just had to do a couple of last-minute adjustments, but that really actually works well to get the meeting, to the flow of the meeting to be concise. We don't have to fill up a lot of roles. So thank you. And otherwise, I thought the meeting went really well, and we're actually doing pretty well on time as well. So this was a meeting that actually we had a very concise and crisp meeting in terms of keeping to a schedule. Thank you, everybody. And now I'd like to return control to our president, Madam President Hannah.
Thank you, Varun. And before we
Hannah, you're frozen.
Yeah, I think we lost Hannah. So maybe our backup can pitch in and fill in.
Well,
Back.
Hannah, are you back? I think Hannah's okay. So I can take over as.
Why don't we do roles for next week?
Sure. Okay. So do we have any volunteers for next week?
I can be a backup speaker.
Okay. Any speeches? I will be a speaker next week. I am actually working on the speech right now. Speaker one.
If there's a time slot, I'd like to speak. Ms. Wyming.
Right now, yes, we do have a speaker one. Speaker two is available. Would you like to take
Okay.
that? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, yep.
Do we have a volunteer for Toastmaster? Toastmaster, anybody? Volunteers for Toastmasters?
Oh. I was going to go evaluator for me,
Okay.
but yeah.
Evaluator. Jose.
So who's our speaker? Wyming? You?
I'm speaker one. Wyming is
Okay.
speaker two.
Okay.
Evaluator is Jose.
Okay.
And Georgie is backup speaker. Anybody else? Volunteers for Toastmaster? Hello?
You want me to do it again or?
Sorry?
You want me to do it again? Oh, I'll be evaluator though.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm not sure if I can make it next 2 weeks, so
Okay.
I might take the other roles, supporting roles, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay. Hannah's back. Hi, Hannah. We kind of lost you there.
I know. I think my internet went down. Uh-oh, but I'm on hotspot now.
Okay. Yeah, we were just filling up roles for next week, and we need a volunteer for tabletop for Toastmaster.
Awesome. Did we announce winners already, or?
No, we have not.
Okay,
We were just waiting for you.
got it. Okay.
Okay. So we have speakers and evaluators, so we do need a Toastmaster. Are you available next week, Hannah?
I can be Toastmaster, or
Sorry?
I can take whatever.
Can you take Toastmaster?
Did I lose you guys again?
Yeah, you did. Can you take
I
Toastmaster?
can take Toastmaster.
Okay, great, awesome.
Yes. I'll stop video. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah. Okay. So we do, and we do need another evaluator because we've got myself, Wyming as speakers, and evaluators as for Jose, as Jose.
I can take roles.
Okay. So Georgie, can you be evaluator too?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Well,
So our
table topics.
and table topics, yeah.
Oh, can you walk me through who signed up? Harun, sorry.
Sorry. Hey, Hannah, you're Toastmaster. Myself, I'm speaker one. Wyming is speaker two. Evaluator is Jose. And Georgie is evaluator, also evaluator two, in table topics.
Oh, and Georgie's also table topics?
No, I'm sorry. We needed table topics.
Oh, I need table topics. Okay. Anesh, do you want to be table topics master?
He's not going to be here next
Oh, he's
week.
not going to be here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might or might not join next 2 weeks, so I'm not. Yeah. If I can come, I'll take the supporting roles.
Okay.
I could be table topics or Georgie. Yeah, either one.
Yeah, whatever. Either one of us.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's roles for, we can fill out the other roles later.
Yes.
So, Hannah, do you want to wrap things up with the winners and?
Yeah, so please give a drum roll, please, for the best table topics master this morning. Best table topics master, of course, when I rejoined, I did not see if she came back, but it's Kashmira. So congratulations,
Yay.
Kashmira. She's here in spirit, so we'll have a round of applause for her. For best evaluator, please give a drum roll and round of applause. Best evaluated this morning, it's Gautam.
Yay.
Also here in spirit, so we'll have a round of applause for him. And best speaker, please give a drum roll round of applause to Anish. Anish,
Yay.
congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And I did not have my video on, but I'll take a picture of you guys if you're ready. 1, 2. Right. We got a friend in our picture too.
Yep.
Aw. What's our friend's name, Anish?
Her name is Nivi, Nivi.
Oh, Nivi. Okay, that's pretty.
Thank you. She wanted to join the call. Nivi, you want to say hi?
She needs her own headset.
She's practicing. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Janeri.
Yeah, when we had Prakash come, he would bring his kids, and his kids would almost join in, having like roles in the club too. So it's kind of
Oh,
cool.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Prakash. I was, when I was a member earlier, and I was working with him too.
Oh.
I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah.
Do we have any announcements from any of the officers or?
No.
All right. With that, have a productive and rest of your week, and especially going to the holidays if you are off for the next week or so before the New Year's. And we will be here next week as well. So for the holiday week, so we'll be here next Wednesday.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you.
All.
Have a good one.
See you guys next week.
See you next week.
See you. Bye.
Bye.